Yeah, we came too far. In the darkest days, don't know where we are or who we are. Yeah, we came too far. In the darkest days, don't know where we are or who we are. Yeah, we came too far. In the darkest days, don't know where we are or who we are. Yeah, we came too far. In the darkest days.
What up, y'all? Planet of the Fakes and Pig Star HH News. This video is about how Amazon denied the film What Killed Michael Brown, and as you can see, it's supposed to be on Amazon Prime, or you could buy the HD version for $19.99. I guess Shelby still has long argued that systematic racism is more of a strategy than a truth, and that the universal oppression of black Americans is largely over with. But the 2014 shooting of a black teen, Michael Brown, by a, I guess you know, white cop, begs to differ. Producers Ellie Steele, Studio Man of Steel Productions, stream instantly, details, supported devices. Let's read some reviews. Why is this being censored? It's shameful that this is happening in America. Well, if you think Amazon Prime censors, wait till you see YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and all these other platforms. Shame on you, Amazon. Do not buy this through Amazon. I just ordered this film through Man of Steel Productions. I could buy it here and have free postage, but I won't do that since Amazon feels it is justified to not carry this film for Prime members. Why? Because it is controversial? I suppose it might upset some people. Well, if people are afraid or upset by hearing the truth, so be it. What a sad state of affairs in this country where huge conglomerates like Amazon take sides in such an important debate. Censorship is un-American. Watch it if you're interested in the truth. Michael Brown was murdered. He did not have his hands in the air when he was shot. The shooting was as tragic as any shooting, but justified under circumstances. Insightful documentary into the killing of Michael Brown. This film digs into the real reason Michael Brown was shot. Mr. Steele provides an intelligent, unemotional discussion of race relations in our country, a must-watch for anyone interested in truth. The question is what, not who, whom, or they. This is a crucial, timely, thoughtful documentary. I can recommend this production without reservation. Shelby Steele is one of America's great men of letters. His polemics are reasoned, truthful, and enlightening. Truth, reality like this needs to break through the modern industrial pablum that we ingest from the media these days. TV and web are products designed to sell eyeballs, advertising time. Do not believe they are a true representation of reality. They are not. Lastly, there is absolutely no reason any media outlet or source should have been limiting the distribution of this film. Really? No one has yet commented on this film, or is Amazon Prime censoring content? Insightful, important movie. Just watch. Yo, talking about racism has done nothing for racism. You're going to talk about racism until racism extincts you. You see how he set up his own website to sell his movies? Let me know what racism prevented him from starting his own website. What racism stops Monique from saying, forget Netflix, I'm starting Monique.com, and I'm going to give up-and-coming comedians an opportunity not to go through what I had to go through? Nothing. And the fact that she hasn't done it, it should tell you everything. But I'm not here to judge people. Y'all talk until your lips fall off and your ears fall off. I'm over here at moredashika.com doing what I do, man. Because I already know, don't expect prejudiced institutions not to be prejudiced towards you. And that's it. With that being said, what you heard and saw was the content. For additional content, click the link in the description. Like, follow, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, visit my community wall, and if you have time, go to www.amore-eka.com/TV. That's our Planet of Fakes 2. We are the new umbrella, Planet Up.
Pay taxes for your own shit out, man. I think it's messed up. You know, a lot of times what I think is, honestly, us New Yorkers, when it comes to situations like that, we kind of soft as a city. When it's situations like that, because, I mean, don't get me wrong, our police are probably like police was in the 90s in LA, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how they are today in LA, and I don't know how they really was. Well, I do know. I used to go to Inglewood and Culver City, saying my aunt, niggas, the police was wild. Police are like that in New York today because everybody makes a big deal about Mike Brown, and that is a reason to make a big deal, a very big deal. But it was a guy 2 weeks prior to Mike Brown who got choked out by the cops for just selling cigarettes, and he got choked out on camera. You know, Mike Brown, I don't know if it's a tape or this dude actually gets killed on camera by the police in the chokehold. You know what I'm saying? You got this guy, Sean Bell, 4 or 5 years ago, get shot 9 times with no weapon for police. Police get off, you know, they get desk jobs. The police from the not Mike Brown, from this guy the other day in New York, they sweep that under the rug. We don't talk about it, it's cool. But the Mike Brown situation, everybody in St. Louis go crazy. They wild out, as they should. You know what I'm saying? I'm not promoting the violence and acting like it should be crazy, but something got to be done. You know what I'm saying? They taking a stand, as opposed to New York. We got 2 people who died recently from police. We don't say nothing. Then it happened with Mike Brown. Everybody in New York is Mike Brown, Mike Brown. Not saying, like I said, nothing taken away from the Mike Brown incident. That shit was fucked up, and something should be done. I'm pissed Barack ain't say nothing about it yet. But just in general, it happens in New York a lot, and we sweep it under the rug, but then we quick to jump on the Mike Brown bandwagon. We got niggas getting killed by police daily, and we don't say shit. So I'm upset about the Mike Brown situation as well as the other situations that happen in New York. My message to the youth is, you know, go to school. You know, I'm not saying you gotta go be a doctor, lawyer, but get your education, man. You know, at least finish high school if you don't go to college, and follow your dreams. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying jump out the window and spend all your money and say I want to be a saxophonist in Vancouver or some shit like that. But if you can afford it and try and do what you really want to do for a living, chase them, baby. Montreal, holla at your boy Killer King.
Planet of the Fakes Hollywood and Pigstar H News. Opinion: What Killed Michael Brown? A controversial movie about truth and lies. Throughout history we find deceptions that have lulled us into thinking they were true. All that is required is a Pied Piper with a fanciful narrative and gullible listeners. Here are several deceptions over the past century. The Soviet Potemkin villages were constructed in the early 1930s to put a false face on the famine of Ukrainians. The New York Times reporter, Walter Duranty, won a Pulitzer Prize for buying into the Soviet deception. The New York Times offered an apology in 2003. The Nazis misled the International Red Cross in beautifying the Terezin concentration camp Theresienstadt ghetto in 1944. Once the Red Cross observers left this mirage, the Germans returned to deportations to Auschwitz, Majdanek, and Treblinka. Rigoberta Menchú, a quiche Guatemalan, won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1992 for advocating for the rights of the indigenous. When her facts about the conflicts she described proved to be significantly inaccurate, the Nobel Prize Committee, nevertheless, declined to void the prize. After all, she was a human rights activist waging the war for social justice. Those in her defense argued that the narrative of oppression was more important than the facts of oppression, and perhaps the most pernicious of all, the protocols of the Elders of Zion. This fabrication by Russian state police in the 1890s served as a catalyst for antisemitism. The London Times exposed the protocols in 1921 as plagiarizing a French political satire, Dialogue in Hell between Machiavelli and Montesquieu. The original 1864 satire never mentioned Jews, but the Russian deception persuaded the gullible for many decades, joining a series of long-lived anti-Semitic tropes. And now, the movie What Killed Michael Brown. explores a deception hypnotizing many who protest. This deception takes race relations in America in the wrong direction. That deception is hands up, don't shoot. The Washington Post gave it 4 Pinocchios in its fact-checking. We know that it is a deception because President Obama's Attorney General Eric Holder investigated the shooting of Michael Brown and declined to bring any civil rights charges against Darren Wilson, the police officer who shot Michael Brown. Michael Brown's death, though a tragedy, did not involve prosecutable conduct on the part of Officer Wilson. Credible witnesses and forensic analysis led to the conclusion that Brown was not shot in the back, that Brown charged at the officer, that Brown's DNA was on the officer's collar. Holder concurred with his office's decision as representing the sound, considered an independent judgment of the expert career prosecutors. The movie, What Killed Michael Brown, recounts the facts and the myths that surround Brown's death in Ferguson, Missouri, in August 2014. Shelby Steele, steeped in the history of social change for blacks in America, wrote and narrated the film. His son, Eli Steele, directed the movie. Shelby Steele explains how those who advocate for social justice, with hands up, don't shoot, seek a poetic truth, one that is not grounded in evidence, but a deception that demands us to conflate the present with past persecution. Those who wave the flag of poetic truth appear to be interested more in power rather than actually working on the community's social issues. Still, the fact is that many believe this deception. Poetic truth offers an attractive delusion. But instead of taking us into palpable change for blacks in America, it has, instead, deepened the divide on race relations and made it difficult to find a path to reforming current and past injustices. That's where Eli and Shelby Steele's powerful movie enters the discussion. Anyone who pretends to want to repair race relations in America, anyone who pretends to repair the world, anyone who wants justice needs to see this movie. Why this movie? The killing of a black man is not a new event. Shelby Steele himself filmed an earlier movie, 7 Days in Bensonhurst, about the murder of Yusuf Hawkins. Yusuf was ambushed and killed in 1989 by white youths. They were tried and went to jail, but is the killing of Michael Brown a repeat of Yusuf Hawkins? Or are we seeing something different? Do we rely on a persistent narrative of whites killing blacks, or do we need to look at the facts of each event? Do we need to explore the history and context of Michael Brown to find out what else is responsible for killing him? Thank you very, very, very much. Go to www.ammer-.
It and said they wouldn't, and they told us in very nasty, hateful language, do not resubmit this film, do not change the title and resubmit. Do not call and inquire about how you might make it. Don't do any. You're canceled. It was because the Wall Street Journal got wind of this and wrote a couple editorials on it and so forth, that Amazon was embarrassed, was shamed, and so they put it back up. The film is now, What Killed Michael Brown, is now back on Amazon and is being streamed. But it took the Wall Street Journal to shame them in its editorial page for them to do it. Why did they do it? It remains a question. It didn't have anything prurient in it. It had no. The language was not off color. None of those things applied. None of its own criterion applied. They just canceled it.
What up, y'all? Planet of the Fakes, king of content. Thank you for looking at my video. And also, I need y'all to basically follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is it ain't even POTF. It's just planet_of_the fakes. Planet_of_the fakes. Subscribe to all my channels too, mainly Planet of the Fakes, Umbrella Corp, POTFS, Planet of the Fakes Women Group, Planet of the Fakes 4KDZ, and make sure you like us on Facebook. Just put POTFS Global News. Thanks for watching our video, and definitely make sure you visit www.amor-chica.com/TV, and that's basically where you see thousands of videos on our website, unflaggable, uncopyrightable. You could be there too. Just get your content together. King of content. Queens of Content, Planet of Faith 2. We are a platform. With that being said, what you heard and saw was the content. For additional content, click the link in the description. Like, follow, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, visit my community wall, and if you have time, go to www.amore-eka.com/TV. That's our Planet of Faith 2. We are the new umbrella, Planet of. And I wanted to bring some things to your attention. Oh, you know I'm going to follow that. You know I'm going to follow that. I'm going to follow that. Oh, I'm definitely going to follow that. I'm following that. I'm following that. Following that. Skip, 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 skip. Skip, 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 skip. Oh, I'm following that. 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 Oh, I'm following that. I'm following